Three, two, one. What's happening, YouTube? You back in the building with the Black Avengers of Life gains. It's me, it's Larry. T Streams is still celebrating his anniversary. Happy anniversary, T Streams. He'll
Right.
be back probably after the baby is born, but y'all used to me and Larry, we like Batman and Robin. And I don't care which one is which. We interchangeable. Brother Larry, what's up?
Oh man, all power to the people, just doing it, living it up, and trying to deal with this stock market and not be stressed. It goes up, it goes down. It's fun though. What's fun about it is I don't have to worry about it because I don't ever really plan on pulling my money out right away. So it's sort of just like having a good time, and
But when I teach you how to do the selling of puts and selling of options, it's going to get real fun. Then, boy, your wife might not see you for a week or two when you start seeing how they be making that easy money selling those options. I'm telling you. But nonetheless, man, I've got a good show for you and everybody that's watching today. We have got to review season 3, episode number 2 of The Chi. Y'all know that you follow me and Larry for a while. I know some of y'all know Larry going to have a hot take about one of my top 5 WTF moments. Yes, I picked that one out specifically for Larry. We also going to cover, there's a trailer for the Respect movie about Aretha Franklin being played by Jennifer Hudson. It's also got my guy Forrest Whitaker in it and some other great actors that comes out in December. We're going to discuss that. And we're going to also talk about stocks at the end of this thing. For those of you that follow what we do at Stocks, we're going to revisit Nicola. And it's been on a tear here recently. I'm going to let you guys see what's going on with it. We're going to determine whether or not it's a buy right now. So, Larry, before we jump into the top 5 WTF moments from Chi last night, give me your overview in 30 seconds.
It was a good episode. I thought there were some funny points to it that I thought were kind of hilarious. There were some points where I was like, I told you. And I know it's what it is because I told last week when we did the review, I said, I think this is it. And and sure enough, that was the case. But I enjoyed it. They're talking about Keisha somewhat, but it almost seems like the whole Keisha story, even though it's very relevant, it's sort of like there, but it's not like the predominant story in some ways. It's more so how everybody else is dealing with her loss. And I will say this, watching this week, little Kevin's got some heart. It's not even Kevin doesn't have heart. Kevin has heart.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about it too. We're going to talk about that too, man. But and I've also got what the streets is saying about a few of the actors that we're not seeing on The Chi. And I know Larry's going to have a good time with that. But before we get going, let me shout out our family that return every single time we do these videos. Buzz, Tim, Mike, y'all are the family of this channel. Y'all come here, support us each and every time. Howard McQuarters, T-Stream's favorite person on our chat. She returns every time. Denise, we're shouting you guys all out. Thank you for all your super chats. Thank you for hitting us on the Cash App. And let's go ahead and begin this thing. First, before we get into our top 5, let's take a look at the trailer that they did for episode 2 so that we can jog your memory and just kind of hit on some of those points.
She hasn't answered any of my calls or texts. Something's wrong. I can feel it.
Think 50-50. I'm trying to build a legacy.
Let's get this money.
You need somebody to guide you. Duda's got him.
We all need to pray for Keisha.
Look, bro, I ain't trying to pray. I need to do something.
Back up! Back up!
Some of our, and if you guys follow my channel, usually on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, I release the trailer review for the upcoming episode. I'll try to have that up tomorrow, along with breaking up these videos by segments. So my number 5 WTF moment, Larry, was this that's right here. So you've got Kev's stepmom that just married his mother, okay? And she went on the streets And what we didn't know was that they have an app that was attached to Keisha's phone. So they know exactly where Keisha's phone was at. It was last at the bus stop. But she goes on the street underneath the bridge where old rusty ass Ronnie is located. And she knows that the phone is there somewhere. And so as she's interrogating people, she runs across Ronnie. She says, I know who the hell you are, Ronnie. Everybody know who you is. Where's that phone? And something me and Larry said last week, they might try to turn Ronnie into a hero because he's had these issues in the past with killing people. And sure enough, indeed, they begin that road by having Ronnie beat up the other homeless dude to get the phone. That's my number 5. Larry, expand on that whole sequence.
Yeah, I think that was interesting. We kind of knew that storyline was coming because in one of the trailers leading up to the show starting, they were saying they show him getting baptized and in voiceover saying, I think it's my mission to find this girl. So we knew that there was going to be something going on like that with him, and whether or not he actually finds her or not, he's going to definitely be integral into that story and that particular storyline. So, the thing I found interesting was his friends who, he meets up. It seems like, those have been boys for a long time, and they meet up at that bar and drink, and they were like, show us where you live. And he was like, nah, whatever. And then when they went down there, and they were like, dude, what are you doing? You can come sleep on my couch or whatever. And he was like, nah, this is where I belong. These are my people. And then as he walked down there and his boys were seeing him and they were like, everybody was like, what's up, Ronnie? How you doing? People were dapping him up, giving him pounds. He was like the man down there. And, I guess it's one of those things. It's like, maybe it's better to be a big fish in a little pond than, the little fish in a big pond. So, it was just interesting. His boys seemed like they were having fun because they were down there playing dominoes and chilling with him, and so, it's interesting to see how all that's going to play out. And I think it's going to be something. I wouldn't be surprised if Ronnie was the one that actually found her. I hope he doesn't get killed, but something leads me to believe that his redemption story is going to come with his demise at the end of this. Like, he's going to find her. And in the midst of finding her, he's going to lose his life in the process. So,
now, by the way, everybody that's checking in, Diamond Girl checked in to check us out live. What's up, Diamond Girl? Comment anything you want to know about what we're covering today. And in terms of that storyline, I think that was all about Ronnie more so than anyone else and where they're trying to take his character. But the question I'll pose to everyone watching this and people that are going to leave comments when I re-upload this as a single video, are we so far beyond Ronnie that they can't turn him around to be a protagonist? Is he that far gone? And I'll leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that. So, Larry, we'll go to number 4.
All right.
The number 4 WTF moment on this particular episode was my man Jake getting a chance to meet his brother Trig. And the whole exchange between these two was Trig is getting into his life and he wants Jake to come stay with him. And Jake's like, nah, Duda's got me. But you can already see that there's friction being caused between Duda and Jake. And at the end of that conversation, Trig said, do you want me to just go away? Jake said, no, you can stay, but I'm not moving. I'm not ready to move in with you, but we can start a relationship. Right. To me, that's just sowing the seeds of dissension between Jake and Duda and what likely might become a standoff between Trig and Duda. Let's not forget, Trig took Duda's money last week. And having said that, Larry, I give it to you. What are your thoughts on what they're trying to build with that plot?
Well, I think eventually, I don't know. It's hard to say. Part of me feels like maybe eventually he'll go with Trig. I don't know. But I'll tell you, the thing that I found really interesting about that scene is that it reminded you just how young those boys are. Because often we see them, and as people do in this country anyways, we often age up Black people. They age up Black boys. They age up Black girls. And when you see them, they're hanging out, they're smoking weed, they're messing with girls, and all the stuff that you would think of maybe as like older high school kids. And then you remember they're not even in high school yet. They're still in middle school, It's like these kids are like what Kev had to roll up to Keisha's high school because he doesn't even go there yet, you know. So it's that scene reminded me just how young they were. When I saw the young man, it just reminded me how vulnerable he is and how young he is and yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, part of me is like you want him to make the right decision, and family oftentimes could be a good thing. The guy obviously wants him. He seems like he wants him for the right reasons, but he's not a good guy. He's not innocent. I mean, the opening scene to introducing this dude, he basically blasted some guy. I mean, he just straight busted on dudes in his head and killed him like it was nothing. Had a conversation with Duda and then walked away. It was like, what the, you know? So
well, having said that, Duda ain't no better. I mean,
Duda's terrible.
Yeah, we know about Duda, but the one thing that it looks like Duda is taking a pretty bad parenting choice with Jake. He's not exercising in that little exchange where Jake walked in with his shoes on. Yeah. You know, he kind of got on Jake in a dismissive manner. It wasn't that wasn't done out of love. That wasn't done per se out of respect. That was just more, you know, you little whippersnapper, you getting the hell on my nerve with my pristine floor type of thing. And it comes down to which one do we feel is the lesser of two evils that's going to really sacrifice themselves for Jake. And as of right now, it seems the storyline is showing that maybe Trigg is the one that would sacrifice his own life for Jake's more so than Duda. Because I think without a doubt, if we had to pick, Duda will not sacrifice himself for Jake. But I don't think
he'll sacrifice himself for anybody.
But it seems like right now at this moment, maybe Trigg would do. And that leads me to, Larry, this is going to be your hot button.
Hold on, before you move on, there was one other thing I wanted to say about that exchange with Jake and Duda when he came in the house with his shoes on. This is something that it's not just about them, but something more broad that I've seen with Black folks, which when I grew up in a predominantly white area. And so when I started to have more Black friends when I got a little bit older and started going to their homes, one thing I noticed is that there was this clear divide where parents clearly said, this is my house. You're living under my roof. You're living in my house. And that was something that I hadn't really experienced when I was younger and growing up and went to other, with white families, it was always about, this is our house. Don't do anything to break or destroy or disrespect our house. You live in our house. And I think this attitude of this is my house and you don't have the right to wear your shoes on my floors or do whatever you do under my roof. I think that sets up a psychological sense of insecurity with kids where they never feel safe. Like it's not really theirs. They can never fully depend on this being there for them because it's not theirs. It's their parents. And when someone constantly is reinforcing the fact that it's theirs and not yours, it makes you feel unsafe in that space because it can be taken away from you at any moment. And it's just one of those little small things that you notice sometimes when you get to peek on both sides of the fence. And I think those things really mess with kids. And I think our kids have so many other things externally we have to deal with. It's important to try and make them feel as safe as we possibly can when they're in their own walls. So,
well, that's what I meant when I said he didn't highlight in a discerning, patient manner the importance of why you take off your shoes. Right. Now, with us getting ready to have this baby next week, I want her to understand that this is our house. But at the same time, she needs to understand that there are two people that set rules and guidelines in this house, and that's me and her mother. And that's not, but you do share this space that we all call a home. And that's what I meant when I said he didn't handle Jake. That situation, I don't feel like he handled Jake in a discerning, loving manner. That's all I'm saying.
No, you're right. I think he could have simply saying, hey, you remember, we don't wear our shoes inside our home. And I think simply changing the language and his tone would have gotten through to him. Instead, he did. I mean, he took his shoes off. It's not like he complied. He didn't comply. He did, but I don't think he got through to him the way that he intended. So, but I mean, Duda is a street dude who doesn't really, he doesn't always deal with subtlety and and whatever. So I mean, he's just sort of a, even though he wears suits and tries to play the role of a polished diamond, he's basically just a piece of coal.
Damn. Poor fella, you just want to throw him into the coal factory so he can be burned up for Duke Energy. Poor fella, Lord have mercy. Moving on to the number 3 WTF moment, and this is the one y'all been waiting to hear Larry spaz on. Number 3 WTF moment: the big reveal that Trig's girlfriend is really transitioning, and it all comes to a head when they go to a gay club. And in the gay club, this cat right here is pushing up on Trig, and Trig snapped a little bit, told him to get out of my face, and was about to beat the brother up. Then the girlfriend stepped in, had a talk with him, and basically said, just because you're uncomfortable with who I really am, highlights another issue. For me, it basically said that he has some issues knowing that his woman is transitioning from man to woman because of the way he spazzed out. And Larry pointed this out last week, that he felt like this young lady was a trans individual. And it was made clear in this episode she is. But one other point that was highlighted by a lot of people is the love scene that Trig had with this individual. So Larry, do you feel like they set this up in a manner where it shows an insecurity in Trig in the way he went off during that scene in the bar?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously has some insecurities about that. I think because like he said, and I don't know if I don't know the circumstances for which they met. So I don't know if maybe they met while he was in prison or something, or if they met afterwards or whatever, and he maybe thought she was a woman, and then later she told him. I don't know what the circumstances were, but obviously he said, when I look at you, I don't see anything but a woman. All I see is just 100% woman, and but. It's for me, it's confusing in some respects, because you have some trans people that say, I'm woman. You can't, like, I am just a woman. Like, you should not refer to me as anything other. I am just a woman. Well, if you're with a guy and he sees you as a woman, you want him to see you as just a woman. I'm not sure you should be so offended that he got upset that a gay dude came and tried to get at him. Because if you view yourself as a woman, you want him to view you in the same way. Well, he's thinking of himself as heterosexual. And so if he thinks of himself as heterosexual, he shouldn't be comfortable with a gay guy coming and trying to get at him. Just like I don't think a gay person is going to be comfortable with a straight person trying to get with them, And so that part's a little bit, that's one of those things to me that feels a little hypocritical in some respects, but I get it. That I'm not trans, I'm not gay. I don't understand their experience entirely. I try and understand, I try and listen, and and unfortunately, I'm going to say some things probably that will offend people throughout time, because until I can get a full grasp of the and maybe I'll never get a full grasp, but until I get enough of a grasp, I'm going to keep saying stupid stuff until I can get a better understanding, because that's part of my journey to understand. But for me, I think he could have just handled that so much better. I mean, for me, right. I've gone to gay bars with because I had an ex-girlfriend who had a gay friend. He wanted to go out, and she wanted to go out with them, so we all went out. And I just simply found the path of least resistance, which was just simply to say, I'm sorry, I'm here with somebody. So I didn't feel the need to try to explain to somebody I'm straight and not gay and leave me alone. I mean, I'm in their space, and and so just simply saying I'm here with somebody was enough. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, it would be crazy. Could you imagine if somebody brought a racist person to a black club or a black bar, and somebody went to go try and talk to him, and they were like, "Ugh, I don't talk to niggers, you know? That
Mhm.
shit would be horribly offensive. It would be terrible. You're like, why are you up in here if you feel like a certain way about black people? Why are you even in here? You know?
Right.
So
I
to
feel
me,
like
he just handled it all wrong. He could
he
have just
did.
taken the path of least resistance. Just say, I'm here with somebody. I'm sorry, and let it be. And if at that point, if you tell this person you're here with somebody and they persist, that's when you go talk to your partner and you say, hey, you need to handle this before I do, because at that point, you know, it's not just them disrespecting you by them pursuing you after you told them you're already here with someone, but they're also disrespecting your partner too. So, you know,
Well, you know, the old people tell me a hit dog will holler. And
yeah,
so much of his aggression, I think, was insecurities within him. After he pushed Homeboy, that was aggressive. Let's not forget that Homeboy was very aggressive. I mean, it was like he had just dropped 2 Viagra's. He was so aggressive. And after the push, he should have stopped right there. He didn't need to persist to beating him up. But I think they put that in there to highlight that he's a hit dog and he's hollering. He's got deep insecurity issues dealing with his girlfriend because in the back of his mind, he knows that she is originally a man and he's trying to come to grips with just burying that part and just looking at her for being a woman, but he's still wrestling with it. And I'm about thinking they're gonna go through that line again throughout this season because that was such a big issue in this past episode. But
right.
like I said, my grandma always said, "Hit dog or holler." And if
Well,
you
it's
go
gonna
ahead.
have to come out because they're up there. I mean, they already have an issue between the two of them where she's saying, you know, she was upset already with him because he didn't want to go out in public really with her. Like he didn't want to go out. They didn't want to go out to clubs or bars or stuff because, you know, he's worried about them being seen together. And I mean, this is a dude that's like a street dude that's murdering people, and he's rolling around with a trans woman. People, of course, the streets are not going to be kind. If they see anything that they can use against you as weakness, they're going to take that opportunity to use it. And if they think that for you, for Trig, if they think that is attacking his manhood or his you know his heterosexuality, they're going to attack that. And you know, so I mean, but I regardless, I know people want to say, oh, trans women are women and they want to talk all this. But here's the thing: if you are a man, you are a straight man, and you are having sex with someone who also has a penis, you are going to question your sexuality. It is not possible not to, because you are having sex with another person with a penis, and people understand that to be homosexuality. And so people are not going to look at it and say, "Oh, this person's still hetero. They're not gay because they're having sex with someone who dresses like a woman and acts like a woman and sounds like a woman and identifies with the woman as a woman." They're not going to. Most people aren't going to see that and hear that internally, nor are most people outside going to see and hear that. What they're going to see and hear is that he's sleeping with another human being that also has a penis.
Well, let me give you some perspective from people I've talked to in the jail. Because Trig's character is fresh out the pen. A
Right.
lot of dudes that go to jail and have long sentences say that they have sexual interaction with men in there, but they don't consider that to be a gay act. And when they come out, they go right back to women. Could that have been the issue with Trig in this situation? And like you said, maybe the person he's with now, they started out a woman and started out a man and decided to transition once, you know, they got out of prison or he got out of prison, what may have you. So that will bring up a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah, but here's the thing: when you have situations like that, and I've heard people that have been in prison say the same thing, and I think this is part of the problem: is that in this country, and well, not just in this country, all over the world, being gay is, if you're a man, is considered being less of a man. Mm-hmm. That you are not really a man if you are gay, and that is the way that it is looked at in most societies in this world, and so if you go to jail and you're looked at as and you're up there having sex with a man, and all of a sudden you're saying, well, I guess I'm gay. that means you're going to be viewed as less of a man. You're going to view yourself as less of a man, which is going to make you a target. And so, I mean, I hear people make up all kinds of craziness. Guys will make up all kinds of stupid reasons to try and rationalize their homosexual behavior. You hear people say stuff like, "Oh, I'm not gay because I don't take it, I just give it." Like that was the thing that what's his name, Liberace's boyfriend had said. No, I'm not gay because I only give it, I don't take it. No, I've never sucked dick. I only let people suck my dick, so I'm not gay. I mean, that's just crazy. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, I understand that people rationalize stuff in their own mind so that they can justify to themselves why they do what they do. But part of me thinks like, wouldn't you just be happier if you just went ahead and accepted the idea that maybe you are bisexual, or maybe you actually are gay? I don't think being gay or being bisexual makes someone less of a man. I have seen people who have been out there. Growing up in California, West Hollywood was filled with gay people. I've seen straight dudes get their ass mollywopped by a freaking gay dude. So I mean, it does not. If that is, I mean, I've seen. We see gay guys out there that work in all levels of corporate America. They work in jobs that are typically looked at as regular macho jobs. They do all kinds of things. They are just men who have a different sexual preference. And so I don't think that simply deciding that you want to sleep with someone of the same sex makes you less of a man. And I think if most people would just go ahead and accept, okay, I like this, or I like this and this, is not going to all of a sudden make you less of a man. And then they might actually be happier. But
moving right along, WTF number 2, and this one is kind of funny but brutally sad all at the same time. We have Emmett's mama Jada, and I mentioned in the trailer review, whose strong manly hands was these? Well, we find out in this episode that those strong manly hands was the masseuse that was recommended by Emmett's baby mama, and it's this dude right here. And during the massage, he's giving Jada, who is very lonely and is looking for some love, a great massage. He gets a little erection, and next thing you know, she starts smiling. He on top of her, doing the happy ending, only for him to be leaving. See Emmett. Emmett knows him. They dap each other up. They talk about his job and how much ends he's making, being a masseuse that performs happy endings. And then he got his ass whipped and he runs away. Larry, this dude was wrong for that. You don't think he knew this was Emmett's mama?
I don't think he knew. But I think when he found out, dude got ghost. He didn't wait to try to explain. He said, when Emmett said, "That's my mama," dude broke left.
He straight out ran Emmett with his massage table and everything. He was gone. He was out that piece. I mean, well, let's give this.
It's kind of gross thinking about it that his Emmett's girlfriend probably had the same experience with you.
Exactly.
What do they call it when they say when you're something brothers or something buddies? I mean, it's nasty to think that you have like a degree or to a separation between you and your own mom sexually. That's just, ugh. I mean, because dude smashed your mom and he smashed your girl. It's just, ugh.
The thing is Emmett gonna find out that dude smashed his girl? He already know dude smashed the mom. Now, I'm thinking that they showed more of that interaction, more so along the line for Jada, because we know she's going to be dating it looks like he's a Puerto Rican gentleman or something throughout the series. But the fact that she's lonely and she's vulnerable, I wonder, is this a big reveal for something deeper that's going to happen with Jada's character? So that's what I kind of gather from this, that what is going to be the big reveal or the blinder spot she's going to have when they have her finally get into a relationship with the Puerto Rican gentleman or white gentleman that she's going to be dating later on in the season.
It could be. I'll tell you what. This is something I'm thinking. I would not be surprised if Emmett somehow ended up saving Keisha. Like what's his name? Ronnie may be in the process of getting her, saving her. He may end up get killed in the process. I think Emmett may actually be there too. I think Emmett and Keisha might actually end up falling back in love or getting not that they've ever haven't, but they might end up getting back together. Because I think the way they keep presenting his baby moms, her attitude is so nasty. There's nothing else. And so, I mean, like, what's her name? The chick that cooks the food. I forgot what Lala. I forgot what they named her character, but
her name is Dawn. But we're gonna definitely talk about them in a few.
Right. But I think she's there. But I think what's gonna happen is I think that they're gonna. I think Emmett might end up getting with Keisha by the end of this thing if he saves her, and that'll be, he'll end his relationship obviously with his baby mamas. But I mean, so what? He ends up not being with her. He's already got like 4 kids. He's not with the other baby mom. So,
Well, we'll keep an eye on what's going to happen to Miss Jada. And the number one WTF moment, you guys.
She hasn't answered any of my calls or texts.
Is this one right here. My man Kev
got hort.
Grows a big pair, rolls up to the so-called boyfriend of his sister. He got the information from his sister's friend at school. He rallies the troops. Jake, Papa, they roll up on this dude who eating cereal at the door looking like a fake-ass Cameron. And he was like, I am not leaving till you tell me about my sister. Homeboy pulls guns on people who's like 6 feet shorter than him, just to show you how tough he really is. And they let the scene go off without us finding out what's going on. Hell, Kevin even tried to walk up in the house, showing love to his sister. Larry, what did this let us know is going on with Kevin and the rest of the crew as this thing is going to keep looking for his sister Keisha?
Yeah, I think for one, it just shows us that they're going to make Kevin, he's going to be out there in them streets, and he might have to put in some work when it comes to finding his sister. I think that hopefully it doesn't lead him to a bad place where he starts doing dirt, but it really does show that this kid has a lot of heart. And the thing that got me when I was watching this scene, I was thinking to myself, why would dude pull a gun on him? I mean, when you have somebody as big as Duda, that's big in them streets, he's running for mayor, and Jake is, I mean, everybody look, as far as I know, they think Jacob is like his son. He lives with him. I mean, you're gonna pull a gun on those 3 kids, and Jake is one of those 3. I mean, you might as well just go ahead and ask to be killed. Because if you would have actually shot one of them, Duda would have had that whole house burned down with them dudes in it.
Well, homeboy is potentially the leader of whatever this gang is in Chicago. Duda owns his section of the city. Apparently, this guy got his section of the city, and he's got his hitters. So maybe he's an adversary to Duda anyway, and don't give a what.
Yeah, but I don't feel like Duda is like that. I feel like Duda is like these dudes have their street level stuff. I think Duda is on a different level than these dudes because he's up there trying to he's running legit businesses. He's talking about running for mayor, and if I'm not mistaken, Duda was like supplying all these dudes. He's been supplying all these street dudes. So it's like these guys are down here dealing, running the streets, making a little money, and Duda's up here bringing all this. He's the one bringing the stuff in and distributing it out. And so I don't know. I could be wrong, but I'm just thinking like if that dude had actually pulled the trigger, or if Duda finds out dude pulled a gun on Jake and them, I'm thinking, I think he's got some problems.
He will, man. And that didn't get us any closer to figuring out what's going on with Keisha. They left us on that one as a cliffhanger.
But Kev
yeah, man. Kev
was the man. Flinch. He was like, I'm not leaving without my sister.
I said in the summer when I was doing these trailer reviews, I said that something's going to make Kev grow up really, really quick. We're seeing that with his sister. And you saw Kevin go through his mind the situation where he got his sister in trouble, where he took and ate one of the girl's birth control pills as if it was a damn Tic Tac. And he had he had been following that guilt of getting her in trouble ever since, and had been covering for her. So I'm sure his heart is really, really deeply involved in this because he kind of covered for where she was going in the first place. But
Right.
then, honorable mention that I didn't put into the top 5 WTF moments, Emmett and Dominique, Lala's character. So this is another contact of his girlfriend. So keep that in mind. Girlfriend has gave 2 major contacts. Number 1, the masseuse that loves happy endings. And number 2, Lala, which might wind up getting smashed by Emmett because he already done showed her the penis. And she was apparently thrilled enough to let him in her illegal establishment where she was serving food. And they're going to strike a deal. However, I think what's going to happen, poor Emmett is going to get his feelings hurt because he's going to smash this woman, possibly fall in love. They're supposed to be going 50-50 on this business. And what she's going to wind up doing is letting him sweet talk him out of his underwear, snatch up the whole business, and leave him high and dry. His baby mama going to find out. He ain't going to be able to go back to her. And then he's going to be starting from scratch again. Larry, what do you think is going to happen after Emmett and Dominique Lala plastic butt smash?
I think they're gonna smash. I'm hoping he doesn't get her pregnant and have another woman with another baby with another woman. But I think he's definitely gonna smash. I'm not sure how the whole business thing is gonna turn out. And the connection. I guess technically, he told his girlfriend told her about her, but the connect really came from his mom because his mom brought that food over and said it's a woman that cooks over on such and such street. And so, his girl did tell him about it, but it's not like she knows the girl or has ever been there. So, I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to smash. Obviously, she has an interest in it because, as soon as she was like, if you're Emmett, show me your stuff. So, that's not usually how people who aren't interested, they don't really want to see your junk like that. So,
well, she heard he had a reputation, you know what I'm saying, for having a kickstand. And when people know you got a kickstand, they want to see it. You know what I'm saying?
But she wants to.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know anybody.
You know what I'm saying? They ask me all the time. You know what I'm saying? They be wanting to know.
She wants to smash, but they probably will. They're setting it up where they probably will. As far as the business is concerned, I don't think she's going to take the business from him, but I wouldn't be surprised if at the end Emmett finally gets out. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know what else he's doing, so maybe they won't, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets out and moves on. And part of here's the reason why part of me says it, because I don't know I should check and see what other projects he's working on, but part of me is like, they usually during every season they cycle characters out and new ones in, and he might be, it looks like they might be cycling Keisha out. Maybe she's got some production deals or whatever elsewhere for different TV shows or movies or whatever. I know Lena Waithe has another show that's about to start on what is it, HBO or Showtime? One of the two. She has another show that's about to start this summer. And so I don't know, maybe she brought some of the other people over or something. But it seems to me like they're setting up for Keisha and Emmett to leave together. Because in that first scene, they did a little foreshadowing when she said she's leaving, she's going to go to Pepperdine. And he asked, can I come visit you? And she was like, hell no. And it just seemed like a little bit of foreshadowing, like they might be going away together. Like after all this is said and done, he may realize, I love this girl, I don't want to let her go. And if she's going, I'm going with her,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm just making some predictions. I could be right. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Emmett gonna get his nose wide the hell open, and Lala Anthony gonna walk in him, and walk through him, take over his business after they get it revved up. Emmett's gonna be heartbroken, and who knows what's gonna happen to him after that. Now, speaking to what you just said about Keisha, so the word on the street is, I've got 2 words on the street. Keisha is not coming back, so she likely could be dead. And the reason is because I heard she had contract disputes. She wanted more money. Mind you, the young lady is from right here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and her career has just been blowing up. So that's one word on the street about her. And the word on the street about Reg was they wanted him to do the scene with the transitioning individual, and he said hell to the no, and that's why he's not on this season, because he rejected that scene. Larry, you think there's any gravity to these accusations?
Wait, which one was Reg again? I'm trying to remember.
Jake's brother.
Oh, the one they killed off. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that's why they could have killed him off. You know, I mean, if he didn't want to, I mean, that's part of the thing. It's like if you, and I know this sort of sucks, but it's like you have these producers and directors and writers that are coming out that have a clear gay agenda. And when I say gay agenda, they have an agenda to push out, you know, images and storylines in the culture of the LGBTQI community. And, I guess that's it. And so I was trying to remember what the I was. The I is intersex. So you have people that are clearly pushing out these stories. And if someone tells you they're not comfortable with this, you know, and it's a gay person that's doing the writing and doing some of the directing and producing it, I mean, it puts you in an awkward position because, you know, you have to say, look, I'm not gay. I don't feel it's, you know, I'm not gay. I'm not comfortable with this. I don't even think it's right that you should have a straight person playing someone gay. You should find a gay actor to do it, you know?
Well, let me ask you this. How would that be any different if you have a white character? And because remember, the whole thing's supposed to be acting. That's all I'm going to say. The whole thing's supposed to be acting. It's not real. It's acting. So how would this be any different if a white character has to kiss a black person?
Well, we know how it turns out. They've done that. That has been something that has happened many times in the past where people just simply say, I won't do it. So
right.
And you have to figure out, and it goes both ways. Like Denzel has said pretty much explicitly, I will not have a white love interest. If I have a wife or a love interest, she will be black. And you know, that's just the way it's been. I challenge anyone to go find Denzel with a white love interest in his movies. You know, he may have white female counterparts, like in I think it was Pelican Brief or something, where he was with Julia, what's her name? Julia Roberts, but they never had any. There was never any love scenes or kissing or anything. And if you read the Pelican Brief book, I believe there was. If I read it was a long time ago, I read that, but I believe there was. But I think they took that stuff out the movie. So I mean, it happens. There's some people that are just like, no, I'm not doing it. You know. And
so should we be comfortable with that narrative? Because if it was the reverse, and a bunch of white people's like, I'm not doing no scene with no N-word. I'm not kissing no.
See, this is where I have different feelings about this, because I think that there is a considerable difference between, you know, kissing or acting or sleeping with someone of a different race versus going against your own sexual orientation.
But so, it's all acting. It's not real.
But hear me out. We're talking about
real. It's all acting. But I get where you're going, but it's all acting. It's not real.
Yeah, but some people even in their professional lives simply say there are certain things that I'm not going to do because it goes against who I am as a real person. Like women, there are certain women in Hollywood where you will see they say I will not do nude scenes because it goes against who I am as a person outside of acting, as a feminist, as a woman, as a Christian, as a Muslim, as a whatever. You know, they simply say, I will not show my body and I'm not going to do a nude scene or I'm not going to do a sex scene because this goes against who I am as a person. And those are, in those instances, it's respected. It's either, okay, the role, either we can write around that or we can get you a body double or something, or this is a definite integral part of the role. And so we're going to have to find another actor. But still, as far as I know, there haven't been any real problems with it when people say, no, I don't do nude scenes. There shouldn't be anything against the same thing. If someone says, look, I am a straight actor, I don't want to do a sex scene with someone of the same sex. I don't want to do a gay sex scene. I think that should be fine. You know, it shouldn't. I mean, you're talking like gay people always talking about I'm born this way. I don't choose to be gay. I was born gay. Well, the same holds true for people who are heterosexual. I'm born heterosexual. I didn't choose to be this way. I just am this way. And so I shouldn't now be asked to go against who I am so that, you know, I can do my job. Not when there's other means. I mean, and I know, and maybe that sounds messed up, but it is what I mean. I wouldn't expect that. I wouldn't expect like the trans women that are on that movie, that TV show Pose, or anybody else. I wouldn't expect them, or even the woman that's on this show. I wouldn't expect her to, in order to be able to work as an actor, to have to now go and take off her makeup and her high heels and whatever else, and go dress like a regular freaking slob dude wearing freaking, you know, cargo pants and a lumberjack shirt or something. I wouldn't expect her to have to go dress like some dude just so she can work. She should be able to work as she is, you know. But I think this is one of those things where because this is so, not that it's new that this is part of our society, but because it's new that it's being somewhat accepted in the open in our society, we're really having to try and work through these things and figure out how it fits in. And I think these conversations are going to be going on for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can get with that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the Shy review portion. I will break this up for those of you that want to watch this again tomorrow. I'll be coming out with another video tomorrow. But now we're going to move on to another trailer review. Aretha Franklin's biopic being done by your girl, Jennifer Hudson, comes out this December. And we're going to take a look at the trailer. Okay, Marlon Wayans, Jennifer Hudson, my man Forrest Whitaker. Larry, is that going to be a day one viewing for you, or what it is? It looked good to me.
I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm glad that Jennifer Hudson's playing the role, because right now when I think about the actors that could, she's the only one that comes to mind, that someone that actually has the singing chops to pull it off and it can play that and has sort of the same look for her when she was a little bit younger. But to be honest with you, that trailer didn't really do anything for me. I'm going to watch it, but I'm hoping the movie's better than the trailer. And I don't always let that throw me off, because sometimes I'll see some great trailers and the movies are booty like that, The Five Bloods. The trailer was better than the movie. Mm-hmm. You know, so this one, the trailer didn't really move me, but you know, and part of that is because I don't really get the feeling like the trailer is not really telling a story about what this is about, and I wish it would tell a little bit more of what the movie's going to be about. But you know, whatever, it should be fine. I'm going to watch it. I mean, if you get a chance to see Jennifer Hudson sing for 45 minutes in a 2-hour movie, I mean, how bad could that be?
You took the words right out of my mouth, man. It's day one for me. I think one thing that they was trying to highlight in the trailer is Aretha Franklin had a bit of rebel in her during her day coming up. And I think they tried to point on that some of the story is going to be about her rallying the troops for equality during her time coming up. Right. But when she came up, now she was a straight diva. There are numerous people out there and accounts of Aretha Franklin that when she came up, she was a diva, but she fought to come up, and it looks like they're going to be highlighting that. But on the sheer fact that you have Oscar winner Forrest Whitaker in it, you've got Grammy winning Jennifer Hudson in it, and then you've got
winning Jennifer Hudson. What are you talking about?
Grammy and Oscar winning Jennifer Hudson, and also a comedian and Marlon Wayans being in it. That's day one for me. Day one.
Did Mary J. Blige win a Grammy too?
Yeah, she did.
But all kinds of awards up in there.
Now I don't know how the hell Mary won. Now let me stop. Let me stop. I don't want to get in no trouble. Mary can dance, ladies and gentlemen. She can dance her ass off. Mary J. Blige. But
if you consider two-step and dancing, she can dance in Chicago, maybe doing a two-step.
Well, Either way, ladies and gentlemen,
Mary cannot dance.
Mary used to could dance. I remember Real Love.
Mary's got that bob though. She's got that side to side bob going. She can do that. Okay. Well, she's got that.
Okay. Her dancing was better than her singing.
Really?
Man.
You know what? When Mary J. Blige came out and I first heard her, I was actually staying with my sister, and I said, "You have to hear this girl." She said, "What does she sound like?" I said, "She kind of reminds me of like a hip hop version of Anita Baker," and that's how I see it.
Wait, what, man? Got to be more. Well, I'm not about to let you disrespect Motown legends. Mary J. Blige singing is not even in the same ballpark as Anita Baker. I got to stop you right there, man. Find somebody else. Stop it. No.
I didn't say she could. I'm not saying she was Anita Baker. I'm saying that she said she reminded me of sort of a hip hop version of her. Because I will say, I think Mary J. Blige can sing. I like her. I like singing. I've seen her in person. I've seen her live a couple of times. The girl can sing.
She. So on the strength of that, I'm there day one. I'm there day one. I will be seeing all of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now finally to some of y'all's favorite section, the money section, where we talk about stocks. We talk about the moves we've done today. We talk about what you can be looking forward to investing in on Robinhood's app. And if you're finding me and Larry for the first time, please subscribe to our channel. He's got one. I've got one. Check out my Robinhood app. You get a free stock. I get a free stock. Today, before we get into what choices we made, I want you guys to see this video about Nikola Motors. They're doing what Tesla has done, except for their specialty is going to be in the truck space. They are going gangbusters, and all I got to say is, y'all, pump the brakes, but I'll break it down after we check out this video.
All right, so if you guys have Nikola Motors calls or the stock on Friday and today's Monday, you just made a good amount of money because Nikola Motors is going to the absolute moon. It's up 8% right now, even though it did drop to plus 3.84%. The news and catalyst that came out were just too big, and eventually it went back up again. So almost 150,000 people own Nikola Motors on Robinhood, and that number is growing daily. Nikola Motors, the stock isn't super cheap either, so paying $60 to $70 to get this stock, and there's almost 150,000 people owning this on Robinhood, is pretty insane. Now, the market cap is pretty much the same as Ford Motors, which is a little high in my opinion, but there's some pretty big catalysts coming out that's giving Nikola Motors the big boost that it really needs, especially how the rest of the tech sector today is pretty flat, being dragged down by Facebook. So if you check out Nikola Badger, the reservations are up. There's a $250 reservation, there's a $1,000 reservation, and there's a $5,000 reservation with limited availability. Now, keep in mind that if you actually are setting out to get this truck, it's best to make a Nikola Motors account, sign up, and just pick the $250 package. And the reason why is the car isn't really truly out. Nikola Motors doesn't really have a factory going on, and keep in mind that this is fully non-refundable after November 1st. So if you guys want to cancel your order and reservation for the Badger, it has to be before November 1st. Now, the thing that really worries me is hopefully we will be getting some sort of a factory news before November, because that will actually make me feel a little bit better. But if you're getting really near to November and there's little to no word about the production phase or the factory, it's best to pull out. But that's just me. Now, there's 3 different types of reservations. The $250 is the most basic one that gives you the rights to reserve the Badger, and you also get a chance to win one of these cars, and you get a ticket to go to the Nikola World 2020, which they will be unveiling different vehicles, and hopefully we'll get more information at that time. And now, the $1,000 deposit, it's kind of unnecessary, since if you get this, you're honestly just betting that you get a higher chance to win a free car, and you get 2 tickets. So I guess you could bring your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever. And you got the $5,000 deposit, which is kind of like the special founder edition that's signed by like the people that made the car, which is very similar to the Tesla Roadster, which there is a founder edition. If you're super rich, I guess you could put down a $5,000 deposit for this. There's also some discounts when you actually purchase a vehicle, so that is going towards the vehicle, and you get a lot more entries to win a free car and 2 VIP backstage meet and greets. And that's pretty cool. I mean, if you get to meet and greet the founders and CEO of Nikola Motors, that's pretty chill. But of course, if you look at that Badger, the reason why I feel like the car itself is getting so much hype and reservations are filling up is because it's been a really long time since we've seen like a fully electric truck that actually looks like a truck. I'm not dissing Elon Musk's Cybertruck. I kind of like the look. It looks like it came from Mars or like a spaceship, but it's not really for everyone because it looks too wacky.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Nikola Motors, and I can tell you right now with everything in my loins, in my fibers, do not buy that stock right now. It just doesn't make sense. Ladies and gentlemen, they are 2 years away from producing their first car. They don't even have a factory to build this. This runs in line with a scheme you guys might have heard of before called pump and dump.
Yeah.
Literally, if these guys was to run away with the money right now, they wouldn't get in any trouble. They wouldn't get in any trouble. They could file bankruptcy, run away with all the money. They have 4 employees currently. Those 4 employees don't take salary. They only take money from stocks and dividends. That's how they can get paid right now. This company hasn't produced anything. If you want to be trying to take a gamble on the next hot thing, at the very least, wait until you see some sales numbers from this company. Or if you really want to be a gambler, wait till you know they're going to have an event, buy the week before the event, and then when everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, sell what you earn the very next week. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a sound buy at this moment. It's too risky. I can think of a handful of other great stocks you can spend $60 on, and I will discuss them after Larry gives his perspective.
Yeah, I personally, first of all, I don't like to buy stocks in companies that don't produce something.
Exactly.
You know, I like companies that actually produce something. I don't like to buy stocks and just holding companies that don't do anything but acquire other holding companies and all the other financial shenanigans that go out there. I don't like buying companies that haven't yet made anything. I get it. Companies need, they need capital so that they can actually produce their product. But, I mean, to me, that's where you have the whole VC market and you get these private investors that come out and they work with people to get the product out. But when you go public and you don't even have a product yet, that's just not for me. It's not for me. I think part of it is that I think that, and nothing bad, nothing against the Robinhood investors. I know you guys are out there. I honestly think some of this has to do with that whole Robinhood investor community and retail, investors in general. I think they're building up some of these stocks that should not be up there. They're pumping them up when they shouldn't be up there. They're investing in things that they don't fully understand. And they're doing it because it's trending on their app or it's trending on some website or something. And they say, "Ooh, I'm going to get in on this," and they push the stock price up. And it's going to eventually crash. You're going to have people putting in this thing $66 a share. You're going to have people getting in, buying 50, 100 shares or more, and they're going to end up one day. They're going to turn around. This stock's going to crash. It's going to be worth $1.50, and then people are going to be stuck holding the bag. You
got that right. So let me give some advice to people who are interested in innovative companies that are producing electric vehicles or associated with it that I own that cost nowhere near this money that you can go take a look at. They've got sales numbers to represent what they're doing. First one is a company called NIO. That's the ticker sign, NIO. They are being called the Tesla of China, and they have done great sales since the coronavirus thing, because China is back wide open right now, and NIO has comparable technology, comparable range on their cars, and it's only a matter of time before it hits America, and they're a little cheaper than Tesla, and they're doing great. Take a look at them. There's a company right here in America, if you want to invest in America, called Workhorse. What do? They have a government contract with the United States to produce electric SUVs. They've already got a contract in place where they're producing drones, and they're also producing for the government electric water vessels, submarines, and boats. That's another good one you can take a look at. And then Blink, ticker symbol BLNK, they are the housing body that produces all of your charging stations for Tesla. They're getting ready to have a contract to produce the West Coast corridor for electric semi-automatic trucks. They produce charging stations for Chevy Volts and other electric cars. All those are companies for those of you that want to take a calculated, safe risk. Stocks are under $10. Grab you some of those and check out what their history has been. That's what I always do before I even think about buying a stock. I check out the history. I go check out the financials. I see what their debt ratios are. I see what their last quarter volume numbers were, and then get them. And those are three that I have vetted. Now, Larry, tell me what you've done today in terms of your stocks. Did you move any options? Did you buy anything? What'd you do?
I didn't do anything today, really. I was just doing some research. You know, that the company Blink that you were talking about.
Yeah.
I looked and I like them. I'll tell you, the problem I have with it is I really have a problem buying companies at their 52-week high. I just
I don't blame you for that. I don't blame you for that.
You get companies that are on these uptrends for whatever reason, and then they swing back down. And you know, sometimes you miss out on good opportunities. Sometimes you should have bought in at you know, this thing's at $6 a share. Maybe I should have bought it at $6 because maybe the thing's going to pick up and skyrocket off until, you know, and go to $15 or $20 a share or something. But, you know, when I look at the 52-week low is at like $1.25, and previously the 52-week low was at $4.54, and it opened today at $3.26, and all of a sudden now it's at $6. I'm like, I mean, I want to believe, but I'm just not. I just can't get myself to buy stocks at their 52-week high like that unless I have. No, I just can't. I was gonna say unless I have some really good reason. I just don't have. I just can't imagine that I have a reason to really do it. You know.
Well, for me, a stock that has contracts put in place that I can read and see, and they just haven't executed them yet, but they are ironclad signed contracts. That tells me they're going to have longevity. And these are the type of, I like investing in future tech. So if I didn't previously own some of it, I would still jump the gun and buy some because it's under $10.
Right.
But,
and I may end up picking up like 10 or 15 shares just to have it.
Right.
And I may
just to have it.
You know, just to have it. But to be honest with you, part of me is just like, what happens? Because we're still in the middle of this pandemic. We're talking about this. We're talking about this electric vehicle corridor out in California. California is about to go into further lockdown. They've already today started shutting down their bars and restaurants again. So you have to start talking about serious construction delays, you know, being pushed out months. And who knows what happens with that once you start pushing stuff out. Who knows what happens with funding with the state? I mean, California went from having I forgot how many ever billions of dollar, you know, surplus to they're like a $500 billion deficit now or something crazy. Right. So, I mean, who knows what appetite the public is gonna have in California to push through with these projects on, you know, soon. And even though the contracts are there, these contracts are written in such a way that sometimes they get done quickly. Most of the time they don't. I mean, it could be 5 years before they even break ground on these things, depending on what happens with the economy out there. And
I can definitely agree with that for sure, that timing on these type of stocks is one where, you know, you might want to wait and see if we do a dip, because a lot of places are closing back up because folks won't wear their masks. They won't take coronavirus seriously. So right. A lot of places are having to close back up, which means stocks are going to take another tank again. But I think the main goal for me mentioning these to you guys is not to buy now, but to consider having them on your radar. And if they get to a price that you deem is cheap enough that you don't mind sitting on it and holding for a long period of time, which is the substance of investing, these are some of the ones you can look at. But buying right now when they're near their highs is probably not a good idea. And what I did today was I liquidated a couple of shares of my Tesla, and I bought Amazon. I bought some of my SPHD ETF because it pays a monthly dividend, and I like having monthly dividends. Plus, the stock grows. I also got I bought a little bit more Workhorse. I bought a little bit more gold, and I also invested in my All-Star Gold Fund ETF that has been growing. And I invested more in Plug, which has been growing like gangbusters, which is another one of those stocks that's in the electric space trying to be a disruptor. I invested in those today when I sold 3 shares of Tesla. I just sold my shares of Tesla way too early. I sold it for like $997. The stock ended at 107. I was mad, man, geez. But that's part of investing. My people that invest know I bought that stock when it was $450 at the very start of Corona. So, I mean, I'm good on it. Right. I just could have taken that other couple of 30, 40 bucks and invested in something else. But that's what I've done with my portfolio today.
Next time, if you feel like if you think the stock's gonna go up some, just set a trigger. Just set a trigger so that you can set it up so that that if the stock reaches like 105 or 107 or something like that, that you automatically put in the sell order. And then you don't have to really worry about it. You just kind of say, okay, I know I want to sell it at or like, for instance, let's say you want to sell anything over 1,000. You just set it in to say sell at 1,000 or above. And as soon as it hits that mark, it'll automatically trigger the sale.
Yeah, I should have done that today. I have a ritual throughout the day, and usually around noon is when I start doing my investing because I'm watching CNBC, I'm reading the NASDAQ, I'm doing all those things. It's kind of like a break period where I come and check on my portfolio, see what the talking heads are talking about, see what the Fed is doing, see what CEOs are talking about, see who's signing contracts. I try to look for all that during my lunch period. And I should have just waited today and done it at the end, but I'm gonna do like Larry said. I'm gonna set a little buzzer so next time I don't lose out on those extra $10 because I'm not quite as risky as Larry, and $10 that I knew I was going to get, I would have gotten. That frustrates me. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I still made good money on the investment. And that's what this game is all about, investing for your future.
Right.
So, but that's all I got for today, Larry. That's all I got, man. We're getting down to the end. The baby will be here next week.
That's exciting, man.
I'll let you do the outro, man, and I'll see you people. Be on the lookout for videos I'm going to put on the Life Game Reviews channels. I'm probably going to change the name. It's going to be more of a dad vlog channel. Me and my baby girl, how I'm staying in shape, what I'm doing for money, how I plan my day around taking care of the child for the first couple of years while she's here. And I'm going to do some videos on what me and my wife do while she's going to deliver, that type of thing. So if you haven't subscribed to the Life Game Reviews channel, do so now. Videos will be going up next week.
I will say this. I know we haven't been talking about politics too much on this channel, on your channel, on these live streams, but I just want to say this to folks. Please wear your mask. It should not be a political issue. Also, on the other hand, with Donald Trump, I mean, when it comes time to vote, if you haven't already voted in your primaries, vote. And when it comes to the general election, just remember, this is a dude who just this week we found out knew that the Russian government was putting out contracts, hits on American soldiers, paying the Taliban to kill American soldiers, and he did nothing about it. And since then has been lying about it, saying that it's not real, the intelligence is not real. So not only does he not believe the CIA, the NSA, the naval intelligence officers and the other military intelligence offices that are actually have boots on the ground. Not only not believing any of them, and he's taking the side of Putin, he's allowing our boys and girls out there in uniform, our men and women out there in uniform, to be taken out for money. Just let that sink in. And the fact that you have people out there that are putting that aside just tells you, and when this came out on Sunday, his response was to tweet a white power video. So what he is saying is he understands that there's a large segment of the white population out here in America that is far more concerned with white supremacy than they are with the safety and security of the American people. And so just let that sink in and then go out and vote. Anyways, as Lamont said, we are out of here. So come back and check us out on Wednesday, same time, same place, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.
Peace. Man, did